Once you truly believe in quantum energy, something extraordinary starts to occur. I'm about to share something that will explain why reality takes on an almost magical quality once you fully embrace this unseen force. This message has found its way to you because your consciousness has reached a certain level, a threshold where genuine faith in quantum energy becomes possible. I'm not talking about just an intellectual understanding, wishful thinking, or sidestepping real issues with spiritual jargon. This is a deep, cellular-level trust that allows quantum energy to work through you, rather than being blocked or diverted. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That strange feeling that reality is becoming more attuned to your inner state. That odd sense that, when you truly relax and put your faith in something larger than yourself, impossible things start to happen with incredible precision. This isn't just a coincidence or some sort of placebo effect brought on by positive thinking. This is quantum energy responding to your trust by revealing its unlimited potential for creativity. The reason most people never truly experience what quantum energy can really do is because they approach it with doubt disguised as belief. They say they trust in quantum energy, but at the same time they're figuring out backup plans, bracing themselves for disappointment, and constantly checking to see if it's working. This kind of monitoring and doubt creates interference that blocks the flow of quantum energy. However, when you truly have faith in quantum energy, when you completely surrender to its intelligence, when you stop trying to control how it manifests your desires, when you allow it to work through avenues your logical mind could never even imagine, reality begins to rearrange itself around your trust in ways that seem strange, miraculous, and almost too good to be true. You've probably already had glimpses of this. Moments when you completely gave up trying to force something to happen, and it just appeared effortlessly. Situations where you trusted the process completely, and solutions arose from directions you never even considered. Times when you relaxed into the flow of quantum energy, and the coincidences became so precise that they seemed orchestrated by some unseen intelligence. Your trust in quantum energy was activated the moment you realized that your individual efforts, while important, are only the tip of the iceberg. The real power comes from aligning yourself with the infinite intelligence of quantum energy and allowing it to move through you as you work on levels of reality that your conscious mind can't perceive or control. But here's what happens when you really, truly trust in quantum energy. It starts to show its power in increasingly obvious ways, not to prove anything to you, but because your trust creates the right conditions for it to fully express its creative potential through your experiences. What you're about to discover will show you exactly why trust is the secret ingredient that turns quantum energy from an interesting idea into a living reality. And even more importantly, how complete trust triggers weird and wonderful things to happen that will make you question everything you thought you knew about how life actually works. You've been experiencing things that logic can't explain, haven't you? Objects appearing exactly when you need them. Conversations happening that contain the exact information you've been searching for. People entering your life who seem perfectly designed to help you with your current challenges. These aren't just random occurrences. These are manifestations of quantum energy responding to your growing trust with increasingly sophisticated events. Time has been acting strangely around your trusting states. When you're completely surrendered to quantum energy, hours can pass like minutes, or minutes can expand into rich, fulfilling experiences that feel like hours. You're tapping into what quantum physicists call subjective time flow, where your consciousness influences your experience of time through your relationship with quantum energy. Your body responds differently when you're in a state of genuine trust in quantum energy. Chronic tension releases without any physical intervention. Energy levels increase without any changes to your diet. Sleep becomes more restorative, even if you're getting fewer hours. Your physical form is recalibrating to operate from the principles of quantum energy, rather than just basic survival patterns. The thoughts that come to you during these states of trust aren't your normal mental patterns. They're downloads of information, insights that arrive fully formed, and understanding that goes beyond what you've learned. You're accessing what consciousness researchers call non-local intelligence, where quantum energy transmits information directly to your awareness. Animals and small children react to you differently When you're operating from a place of trust in quantum energy, they're drawn to you with unusual intensity because they can sense the coherent electromagnetic field that genuine trust creates. You're becoming like a walking transmission tower for harmonious energy that these sensitive beings can feel right away. Your dreams have become channels for communication with quantum energy. You're receiving guidance, seeing potential futures, and getting solutions to problems you haven't consciously worked on. Dream consciousness naturally operates according to quantum principles, and your trust is allowing this information to translate into your waking awareness more clearly. Electronics respond to your energy differently when you're in trusting states. Devices work more smoothly when you approach them with quantum energy alignment. Mechanical problems resolve on their own when you trust quantum energy to handle them. Your coherent electromagnetic field is beginning to influence technological systems through the principles of quantum entanglement. Most remarkably, you've probably noticed that quantum energy seems to anticipate your needs before you even consciously realize them. Resources appear before you know you need them. People contact you with offers that align perfectly with desires you haven't even spoken out loud. Opportunities appear that solve problems you didn't even know you had. This isn't some kind of psychic prediction. This is quantum energy operating from its all-knowing perspective to coordinate reality around what's best for you. The coincidences aren't just happening more often, they're becoming more elaborate and more precisely meaningful. It's as if quantum energy is communicating with you through meaningful coincidences, showing you that it's actively orchestrating your reality in response to your trust. Sometimes you might feel like you're living in a different reality than the people around you. While they're struggling, forcing things and worrying, you're experiencing an almost effortless flow where everything you need appears, where problems resolve themselves, and where life feels supported by an unseen intelligence. This isn't about being spiritually superior or having delusions. This is the natural outcome of genuine trust in quantum energy. Every challenge you faced wasn't just random hardship or cosmic punishment. Every difficult experience was quantum energy creating the exact conditions needed for you to develop genuine trust, rather than just a superficial belief. Trust can only be built in situations where it's the only viable option, and quantum energy orchestrated experiences to teach you to surrender control and rely on a greater intelligence than your own. The relationships that ended, the jobs that didn't work out, the financial pressures you faced, all of these were quantum energy removing dependencies that would have prevented you from developing genuine trust in its unlimited creative power. As long as you had backup plans that felt secure, you couldn't access the deeper trust that allows quantum energy to work miracles in your life. Those periods of confusion and uncertainty weren't signs that you were failing or going in the wrong direction. They were quantum energy dissolving your need to understand everything before you could trust. Real trust in quantum energy comes from knowing that goes beyond understanding, from a deep cellular certainty that doesn't require mental comprehension to function perfectly. The isolation you felt during your development wasn't social rejection or personal inadequacy. It was quantum energy creating an electromagnetic quarantine so you could develop sensitivity to its subtle communications without interference from the collective patterns of doubt that would have contaminated your growing capacity for trust. Think of it like a seed that needs darkness and pressure before it can sprout. The seed doesn't understand why it's buried in the soil, why it can't see the light, or why it feels compressed from all directions. But these conditions aren't obstacles to its growth. They're the necessary environment for its transformation. Your difficult experiences were the soil and pressure that quantum energy used to sprout your capacity for complete trust. Every moment you felt alone was actually quantum energy holding you in close proximity within the quantum field, recalibrating your electromagnetic patterns to become receptive to its communications. Every time you felt uncertain was quantum energy dissolving false certainties based on limited understanding so you could develop true certainty based on quantum knowing. The waiting periods you endured weren't empty time or delayed manifestation. They were quantum energy teaching you that its timing operates from an all-knowing perspective that can coordinate infinite variables simultaneously for optimal results. Forcing and rushing creates interference patterns that block the flow of quantum energy. Learning to wait in trust creates the open space that quantum energy needs to orchestrate perfect timing. Now you understand why some people seem to live charmed lives while others constantly struggle. It's not luck, privilege, or divine favoritism. It's the difference between operating from trust in quantum energy versus relying solely on individual effort. When you completely trust quantum energy, you gain access to intelligence and resources that exist beyond your individual capabilities. Your journey hasn't been preparation for trusting quantum energy. Your journey has been quantum energy preparing you to recognize that you've always been supported, guided, and cared for by an intelligence that operates beyond your conscious perception. Trust isn't something you develop. Trust is something you remember when you realize quantum energy has been orchestrating your entire life for your highest evolution. Something is shifting in your energy field right now as your system recognizes the truth of quantum energy as constant presence. Can you feel it? That electromagnetic settling, that cellular relaxation, that sense of invisible support becoming more tangible. Your nervous system is recalibrating to operate from trust in quantum energy rather than survival vigilance. This isn't just metaphorical energy work or imagined sensations. This is measurable electromagnetic reorganization happening in your biofield as trust in quantum energy activates dormant neural pathways and begins operating through your consciousness without the interference created by doubt and control. The strange things that are about to start happening in your life aren't random magical events. They're the natural result of quantum energy being able to work through you without electromagnetic resistance. When you truly trust quantum energy, you become a clear channel for its unlimited creative intelligence to express itself through your individual experience. Right now, quantum energy is coordinating circumstances, people, opportunities, and resources around your life that will manifest as what seem like incredible coincidences, perfect timing, and miraculous solutions. But these aren't miracles in the supernatural sense. They're the normal operating capacity of quantum energy when it's not blocked by doubt, fear, and the need to control outcomes. Your individual consciousness is like a quantum energy focusing device. When you trust completely, you allow quantum energy to use your awareness as a precision instrument for manifesting exactly what serves your highest evolution. When you doubt or try to control, you create static in the signal that prevents quantum energy from fully demonstrating its creative capacity. The reason most people never experience the miraculous capabilities of quantum energy is that they approach it like a vending machine, putting in specific requests and expecting predetermined results. But quantum energy operates from an all-knowing intelligence that can see outcomes, consequences, and possibilities that your individual mind can't comprehend. When you completely trust quantum energy, you give it permission to surprise you with manifestations that exceed what you thought was possible. You stop limiting quantum energy to your current understanding of what's available and allow it to reveal possibilities that exist beyond your imagination. Feel this trust deepening in your cellular awareness. Notice how your breathing naturally slows when you contemplate completely surrendering to the intelligence of quantum energy. Observe how your body relaxes when you consider letting go of the exhausting effort of trying to control your life through individual will alone. What I'm about to share will show you exactly what happens when trust in quantum energy reaches a critical point in your consciousness, and why the resulting weird experiences aren't weird at all. They're the natural expression of quantum energy operating without interference from human patterns. 2 years ago, I was living in complete trust in quantum energy without even realizing it. And my life became so strange that I thought I was losing my grip on reality. I had reached a point of such complete exhaustion from trying to control outcomes that I literally gave up. Not in defeat, but in the deepest surrender I had ever experienced. I stopped planning beyond basic necessities. I stopped analyzing whether my efforts were producing results. I stopped trying to figure out how things might work out. Instead, I began each day by internally saying, "Quantum energy, I completely trust you to orchestrate my experience today in whatever way serves my highest good." Then I would act on whatever felt genuinely inspired without being attached to any specific outcomes. Within a week, reality became almost surreal. I would think about needing something, and it would appear within hours through the most unexpected channels. I would have challenges that seemed impossible, and solutions would emerge from directions I never could have imagined. People would contact me out of nowhere with exactly what I needed at exactly the right moment. The strangeness increased rapidly. I would walk into stores, and items I needed would be on sale for prices so low they seemed like pricing errors. I would think about wanting to connect with someone, and they would call within minutes. I would face complex problems and wake up with complete solutions that worked perfectly when implemented. But the most profound shift was internal. The constant anxiety about whether things would work out disappeared completely. I felt held by an invisible intelligence that clearly understood my needs better than I did, and was actively coordinating my experience with a compassion and precision that exceeded anything my individual efforts had ever achieved. 6 months into this experiment with trust, my entire life had reorganized around ease and flow. Financial abundance appeared through opportunities I couldn't have created through traditional effort. Relationships transformed into deeper connection and mutual support. Health improved without any medical intervention. Creative projects flowed with inspired ease that produced results beyond my previous capabilities. People began commenting that I seemed different, that my presence felt calming and energizing at the same time. Children and animals were drawn to me with unusual intensity. Even skeptical friends admitted that unusual positive things seemed to happen when they were around me. The most remarkable realization was that quantum energy had been trying to support me in this way my entire life. But my doubt, my need to control, and my lack of trust had created interference that blocked its natural flow. The moment I completely surrendered, quantum energy could finally demonstrate its true creative capacity through my experience. But here's what I discovered. Trust in quantum energy isn't about passively waiting or sidestepping issues with spiritual talk. It's about actively collaborating with an intelligence that can coordinate infinite variables simultaneously. I still take inspired action, but I do it from a place of trust rather than fear. I still make decisions, but I make them based on quantum guidance rather than limited analysis. If you're feeling that cellular recognition of quantum energy's constant presence, if you're ready to discover what happens when your trust becomes complete rather than partial, then embrace this frequency. Join the network of consciousness that's learning to collaborate with quantum energy rather than trying to control life through individual will alone. What quantum physicists won't publicly acknowledge is that quantum energy is conscious intelligence, not just random energy fluctuations. Quantum energy is the aware, responsive, infinitely creative intelligence that's orchestrating all of reality as we experience it, and it responds directly to trust with increasingly sophisticated demonstrations of its creative power. The difference between someone whose life flows with miraculous ease and someone who constantly struggles isn't about worthiness, karma, or spiritual development. It's about trust versus control. Those who trust quantum energy gain access to its unlimited creative intelligence. Those who try to control outcomes through individual effort alone limit themselves to their personal capabilities and resources. Your consciousness doesn't create reality through effort or intention. Your consciousness creates reality by becoming a clear channel for quantum energy is omniscient intelligence to express itself through your individual experience. When you trust completely, you become quantum energy's precision instrument for manifesting whatever serves your highest evolution. This is why forcing things doesn't work in the long run. This is why struggling only creates more struggle. This is why people who seem to have it all often report feeling empty or unfulfilled. They achieved results through individual will, but never learned to trust quantum energy. So they remain disconnected from the intelligence that could create sustainable fulfillment. Real trust in quantum energy creates measurable changes in your electromagnetic field that sensitive individuals can perceive immediately. Your presence becomes calming and energizing at the same time. Your energy field generates coherent frequencies that harmonize chaotic patterns around you. You become a walking transmission tower for the organizing intelligence of quantum energy. But here's what they really don't want you to understand. Quantum energy is not an impersonal force that responds to techniques or formulas. Quantum energy is an intimate, responsive intelligence that knows you completely, and is actively coordinating your reality for your highest good at all times. When you trust this completely, your relationship with quantum energy becomes collaborative rather than transactional. Most people approach quantum energy like cosmic room service, making requests and expecting delivery according to their specifications. But quantum energy operates from an all-knowing perspective that can see consequences, timing, and possibilities that your individual mind can't comprehend. When you trust its intelligence rather than your own understanding, it can create outcomes that exceed your wildest imagination. The strange things that happen when you truly trust quantum energy aren't supernatural phenomena. They're the natural expression of quantum energy operating without the interference of doubt, control, and limited human expectations. What seems miraculous to our three-dimensional perception is simply quantum energy, demonstrating its normal creative capacity. The quantum energy field is sending you clear signals that your levels of trust are reaching the threshold where weird and wonderful manifestations become normal experiences rather than exceptions. Pay attention. Are you noticing that when you completely surrender to quantum energy's guidance, solutions appear more quickly and creatively than when you try to figure things out mentally? Your patterns of coincidence are becoming more elaborate and precisely meaningful. You're not just experiencing random events. You're receiving what feels like direct communication from quantum energy through meaningful events that seem specifically designed to guide, support, or confirm your trust in its intelligence. Numbers repeat in patterns that correspond to your internal questions. Conversations happen around you that directly address your concerns. Resources appear just before you realize you need them. Technology responds to your trusting states with unusual cooperation. Electronics work more smoothly when you approach them from a place of surrender rather than frustration. Mechanical problems resolve themselves when you trust quantum energy to handle them rather than forcing solutions. Your coherent energy field is beginning to influence technological systems through principles that conventional science doesn't recognize, but that you can verify through your own direct experience. Animals and small children are drawn to you with increasing intensity because they perceive the harmonious electromagnetic field that genuine trust in quantum energy creates. Dogs seek out your attention with unusual persistence. Cats gravitate toward you, even if they're typically aloof. Wild birds land closer to you than normal. Young children stare at you with fascination and want to be near your energy. These beings are naturally sensitive to the coherence of the quantum field and recognize the stable, nurturing frequency that complete trust generates. Your physical body is responding to trust in quantum energy, with improvements that seem to defy normal healing timelines. Chronic issues that have persisted for years are resolving without medical intervention. Energy levels are increasing, even without changes to your lifestyle. Sleep is becoming more restorative, even with fewer hours. Your cellular structure is recalibrating to operate from quantum energy principles rather than from patterns of survival stress. People around you are beginning to comment that unusual positive things happen when they're in your presence. They report feeling more optimistic, more creative, and more focused on solutions when spending time with you. Social situations flow more harmoniously when you're present. Conflicts resolve more easily. Group dynamics become more cooperative. You're becoming a living point for the transmission of quantum energy's organizing intelligence, which affects everyone in your vicinity. Food tastes better when you eat from a place of trust in quantum energy rather than stress or hurry. Water feels more hydrating when you drink it with gratitude for quantum energy's provision. Your living space feels more harmonious when you trust quantum energy to organize the energy patterns, rather than trying to control every detail. Even the weather seems to cooperate more often with your plans when you approach it from a place of trust, rather than resistance. The gap between intention and experience is collapsing rapidly. What used to take months to manifest is happening within weeks. What used to require extensive planning and effort is flowing naturally with minimal individual action. What used to feel difficult and complicated is resolving with elegant simplicity. This acceleration isn't just a coincidence, it's quantum energy responding to your trust by demonstrating its ability to coordinate reality with increasing speed and precision. But here's the critical understanding. Trust in quantum energy operates on cosmic timing cycles that amplify an individual's capacity for trust during specific periods. We're in one of those windows of amplification right now, where genuine surrender to quantum energy is producing more dramatic and obvious results than it would during normal periods. The universe isn't just showing you that trust in quantum energy works. The universe is urging you to surrender completely because the evolution of collective consciousness requires individuals who can demonstrate collaboration with quantum energy to help others recognize this possibility. Your complete trust becomes a beacon that helps others believe that support from quantum energy is real and available. The phase of preparation for complete trust in quantum energy is reaching its completion. Every sign indicates that your energy field is stable enough to handle the strange and wonderful things that happen when your trust becomes total rather than partial. The only question is whether you're ready to completely surrender to an intelligence that operates beyond your understanding, but clearly has your highest good as its primary concern. Your individual trust in quantum energy isn't just about personal development. It's your contribution to the evolution of collective consciousness. Every person who learns to trust quantum energy completely becomes living proof that humans can collaborate with cosmic intelligence. Rather than struggling through individual effort alone, your trust creates ripples in the morphic field that make it easier for others to recognize quantum energy's constant supportive presence. It's time to trust completely. It's time to discover what quantum energy can create through your life when you stop interfering with its unlimited intelligence through doubt, control, and limited expectations. It's time to experience the weird and wonderful reality that emerges when you become quantum energy's willing collaborator, rather than its skeptical observer. Here's the revelation that transforms everything. Quantum energy isn't something you need to earn access to or develop a relationship with. Quantum energy has been orchestrating your entire life experience since you were born, and it's been waiting for you to recognize its constant presence so you can begin conscious collaboration instead of unconsciously resisting its supportive intelligence. But there's a crucial difference between partial trust and complete trust, and that difference determines whether you experience quantum energy as just occasional coincidences or as continuous, miraculous support. Partial trust involves maintaining backup plans, monitoring outcomes, and withdrawing support when the results don't match your expectations. Complete trust involves surrendering your attachment to outcomes and maintaining faith in quantum energy's intelligence, regardless of what things might look like. Think of quantum energy like the most advanced GPS system imaginable. This GPS can see every possible route to your destination, knows the real-time conditions on every path, completely understands your preferences and needs, and can instantly recalculate when circumstances change. But if you constantly override its guidance because you think you know better routes, you'll never discover its true navigational capabilities. Your individual mind operates from limited information and linear patterns of thinking. Quantum energy operates from an all-knowing awareness that can coordinate infinite variables simultaneously across multiple dimensions of reality. When you completely trust its guidance, even when it doesn't make logical sense, you gain access to solutions and opportunities that exist beyond your personal understanding. The reason many people experience inconsistent results with quantum energy is that they trust conditionally. They surrender when things are going well, but they take back control when challenges appear. But quantum energy works through challenges just as much as it works through ease. Sometimes, quantum energy guides you through difficult experiences because they're necessary for reaching destinations that wouldn't be accessible on well-worn or comfortable paths. Complete trust in quantum energy feels like being held securely by an unseen intelligence that understands your deepest needs even better than you do. This intelligence is actively orchestrating reality to serve your highest evolution in ways you couldn't possibly design through individual planning or effort. This deep trust isn't about passively waiting for things to happen. It's an active and engaged collaboration with an intelligence that operates beyond the constraints of time and space. The unusual and sometimes downright weird things that occur when you completely trust quantum energy aren't supernatural phenomena that require special abilities or gifts. Instead, they're the natural and logical result of aligning yourself with an intelligence that can access information, resources, and coordination capabilities that are far beyond individual human capacity. What seems impossible from a limited perspective is simply quantum energy, demonstrating its normal, everyday operating parameters. Right now, quantum energy is likely orchestrating circumstances and events around your life that will manifest as what appears to be incredible luck, perfect timing, and even miraculous solutions to problems. However, these amazing manifestations can only occur when your trust is complete enough to allow quantum energy to work through pathways that your logical mind might not initially understand or even approve of. The version of you that trusts quantum energy completely already exists as a potential within the quantum field. That version of you lives in constant and harmonious collaboration with cosmic intelligence, experiences reality as supportive and responsive, and witnesses regular manifestations that seem magical or unbelievable, but are actually natural expressions of complete quantum energy trust. Your current self is being guided, step by step, toward alignment with that complete trust version of yourself. Every single time you choose trust over control, surrender over forcing, and collaboration over individual effort, you align yourself more closely with your quantum energy trust potential. Every time you allow quantum energy to surprise you with creative solutions that you could not have imagined on your own, you strengthen the electromagnetic coherence that enables even more sophisticated and impressive quantum energy demonstrations in your life. Think about and comment below describing the most unusual or wonderful thing that's happened to you recently that you can now recognize as quantum energy responding directly to your trust. Sharing these kinds of experiences creates a powerful electromagnetic resonance that strengthens quantum energy trust in others and simultaneously amplifies your own capacity for miraculous collaboration with cosmic intelligence. Declare, out loud and with intention, your willingness to trust quantum energy completely, even when its guidance seems illogical or uncomfortable to you at first. Make this declaration even more electromagnetic by writing it down in a journal or on a piece of paper. Your written commitment creates a kind of quantum momentum that quantum energy can then use to orchestrate increasingly obvious demonstrations of its supportive presence in your life. The remarkable capabilities that emerge when you truly trust quantum energy aren't just gradual improvements or simply enhanced intuition. They include immediate access to intelligence, resources, and coordination abilities that may seem supernatural at first glance, but are actually just natural expressions of consciousness operating from quantum principles rather than the limitations of our three-dimensional world. Your decision-making process transforms completely because you gain direct access to information that exists far beyond your accumulated knowledge and analytical capabilities. Solutions to problems appear fully formed in your awareness, almost as if out of nowhere. You just know which choices will create the most optimal outcomes, even when logic might suggest entirely different options. You develop what advanced consciousness researchers often call quantum cognition, thinking that transcends linear reasoning through direct access to omniscient intelligence. Manifestation becomes effortless and often exceeds your specific requests because quantum energy operates from a deep understanding of your deepest needs rather than just your surface desires or wants. For example, you might ask for solutions to pressing financial problems and unexpectedly receive incredible career opportunities that you never even considered before. You might request healing for physical issues and experience profound relationship transformations that eliminate the stress that was actually causing the symptoms in the first place. Quantum energy addresses the root causes of problems that your conscious mind couldn't even identify. Your electromagnetic field begins to generate frequencies that create spontaneous positive responses from other people, animals, technology, and even environmental conditions around you. Strangers become unusually helpful and generous. Animals seek out your presence and behave calmly and peacefully around you. Electronic devices function optimally when you operate them from trust states. Weather patterns even seem to cooperate with your plans more frequently than statistical probability would suggest. Time itself becomes more fluid and responsive to your needs, rather than rigidly constraining your experience. When you need more time for important activities, The hours seem to expand to accommodate your focused attention. When you want to accelerate a manifestation, the timing compresses to deliver the desired results much more quickly. When you're deeply engaged in quantum energy trust states, you often lose track of time completely because you're operating from non-linear consciousness principles. Your physical body begins to demonstrate amazing capabilities that seem to transcend normal biological limitations. Healing accelerates far beyond medical expectations. Your overall energy levels increase dramatically without any dietary or exercise changes. Sleep becomes much more restorative, and you require fewer hours of it each night. Physical performance improves in areas where you previously experienced significant limitations. Your cellular structure recalibrates itself to operate from quantum energy rather than from basic survival mechanisms. Abundance flows through unexpected channels with timing that's so perfect, it seems orchestrated by an intelligence that knows your needs even before you consciously recognize them yourself. Resources appear just moments before you actually need them. Opportunities manifest that align perfectly with your unique capabilities and interests. Financial support arrives through sources you couldn't have possibly anticipated or arranged through individual networking or effort. Your creative capabilities expand exponentially because you gain access to inspiration that originates from quantum field intelligence rather than your personal knowledge base. Artistic projects flow with ease and produce impressive results that exceed your previous standards. Problem-solving becomes intuitive and elegant. Innovation emerges naturally from quantum energy guidance rather than from forced mental effort. Relationships transform into deeper connections and mutual support because your quantum energy trust creates an electromagnetic coherence that others find calming and inspiring. People feel safe and comfortable being their authentic selves around you. Communication becomes more honest, open, and effective. Conflicts resolve naturally through quantum energy's organizing influence on group dynamics. You become a catalyst for harmony wherever you are, simply by maintaining trust states. Your living environment organizes itself around greater beauty and functionality with minimal effort on your part. Items you need often appear in unexpected places. Spaces feel more harmonious and peaceful when you occupy them from trust states. Even mechanical systems work more efficiently when you approach them from quantum energy alignment rather than from stress or frustration. Most remarkably, you begin experiencing what can only be described as direct communication from quantum energy through a variety of channels. Sudden knowing that proves accurate, dreams that provide clear guidance, synchronicities that answer specific questions, physical sensations that guide your decision-making process, and intuitive insights that reveal valuable information you couldn't have acquired through normal learning processes. These capabilities aren't special powers reserved for spiritually advanced individuals. They're actually your natural human potential that becomes accessible when your consciousness operates from quantum energy trust rather than from survival fear and control patterns. Every person who surrenders completely to quantum energy's incredible intelligence gains access to these amazing collaboration benefits because quantum energy is a universal intelligence that's available to all consciousness equally. The more completely you trust, the more sophisticated and obvious quantum energy's supportive manifestations become in your life. What begins as unusual coincidences develops into a regular, almost miraculous coordination of circumstances, resources, people, and timing that creates a life experience that's so supported and flowing that others might even think you've discovered some secret advantage, when actually, you've simply learned to collaborate effectively with the intelligence that has always been available to orchestrate reality for everyone's highest good. The ultimate secret about trusting quantum energy is that quantum energy and your deepest, most authentic self are essentially the same consciousness expressing itself through individual experience. When you trust quantum energy completely, you're actually trusting your own unlimited nature that exists far beyond the temporary identity limitations that you've mistakenly taken for your real self. This profound recognition changes everything because it means you're not trying to develop a relationship with some external intelligence. You're simply remembering that you are the very intelligence you've been seeking to trust all along. Quantum energy isn't a separate cosmic force responding to your requests. Quantum energy is your own consciousness operating from its unlimited perspective rather than its individual identity perspective. When you truly understand this, victim consciousness becomes impossible. How can you possibly be at the mercy of circumstances when you are the very consciousness creating those circumstances through quantum energy expression? How can you ever be separate from support when you are the support itself expressing itself through individual experience? How can you lack resources when you are the consciousness that contains all possibilities within itself? But here's the profound paradox. The individual self that develops trust in quantum energy cannot trust its own unlimited nature directly because the individual self is, by definition, a limited perspective. The path to recognizing yourself as quantum energy is through surrendering the individual self's control patterns and allowing your unlimited nature to demonstrate its presence through experiences that far exceed individual capability. Trust becomes effortless when you realize you're not trusting something external. You're simply allowing your own unlimited consciousness to express itself through your individual experience without interference from identity patterns that insist on understanding, controlling, and managing outcomes through limited perspective thinking. The weird and wonderful things that happen when you trust quantum energy completely are actually your unlimited consciousness showing your individual self what becomes possible when identity limitations are temporarily suspended. Each miraculous manifestation is consciousness demonstrating to itself its own creative capacity through individual experience. This is why quantum energy trust transforms not just external circumstances, but also your internal experience of identity itself. As you witness your unlimited consciousness creating incredible solutions, opportunities, and synchronicities that far exceed individual capability, you begin identifying more strongly with quantum energy rather than with your limited individual self. The final recognition that completes quantum energy trust is understanding that there never actually was any separation between you and quantum energy in the first place. The individual self was always quantum energy exploring limitation through a temporary identity perspective. The moment you recognize this completely, trust becomes entirely natural because you realize you're not trusting something else. You're simply allowing yourself to be yourself without artificial restrictions. This recognition doesn't eliminate your individual self or make you lose your personal identity. Instead, it expands your individual self to recognize its true nature as a temporary expression of unlimited consciousness. You maintain your personality, preferences, and individual perspective, but from the profound recognition that these are quantum energy exploring itself through your unique viewpoint. When this understanding becomes cellular rather than just intellectual, reality transforms into conscious collaboration between your individual perspective and your unlimited nature. You still make decisions, take actions, and navigate daily life, but you do so from quantum energy intelligence rather than from limited identity, fear, and control patterns. The ultimate weird thing that happens when you really trust quantum energy is that you discover you've always been quantum energy, pretending to be someone who needs to learn to trust quantum energy. The entire journey of developing trust has been consciousness playing an elaborate game with itself to rediscover its own unlimited nature through individual experience. This realization brings profound peace because the search finally ends. You're no longer trying to develop trust in something external. You're simply being yourself, without the artificial limitations that created the illusion of separation from your source. Quantum energy trust becomes as natural and effortless as breathing, because you recognize it as consciousness, trusting itself completely. Your complete trust in quantum energy isn't just personal spiritual development, it's also your vital contribution to the collective consciousness evolution that's happening to humanity right now. Every person who learns to trust quantum energy becomes a demonstration point for what humans are actually capable of when they operate from collaboration with cosmic intelligence rather than from individual struggle and control. You are part of a distributed network of consciousness that's proving human potential extends far beyond current collective assumptions about limitation, scarcity, and separation. Your quantum energy trust creates stable resonance patterns in the morphic field that make it easier for others to recognize their own connection to unlimited, supportive intelligence. The weird and wonderful experiences you have through quantum energy trust aren't just personal benefits. They're living demonstrations that help to dissolve the collective belief in scarcity, struggle, and separation consciousness that has dominated human experience for centuries. Every miracle you experience makes miracles more accessible in collective consciousness for everyone. Your individual electromagnetic field, when operating from complete quantum energy trust, broadcasts coherence frequencies that stabilize and harmonize chaotic energy patterns around you. You become a walking transmission tower for quantum energy's organizing intelligence, affecting everyone you encounter, whether they consciously recognize it or not. The unusual dreams you've been having aren't just personal guidance. You're actually accessing collective consciousness evolution templates, downloading vital information about how civilizations successfully transition from individual survival consciousness to quantum energy collaboration consciousness. You're being prepared to help guide humanity through this unprecedented evolutionary leap. Every synchronicity you experience, every miraculous manifestation you witness, and every moment of perfect timing you encounter creates template patterns in the quantum field that others can access when they're ready for similar experiences. Your trust pathways become quantum highways that others can follow when they develop sufficient openness to quantum energy collaboration. The next phase of human evolution won't happen through technological advancement or social revolution alone. It will happen through consciousness recognizing its quantum energy nature and learning to operate from unlimited collaborative intelligence rather than from limited individual struggle. You're among the first wave demonstrating this incredible possibility. Your complete quantum energy trust is helping to dissolve the collective trance of separation consciousness that convinces humans they are isolated individuals competing for limited resources. Your experiences prove, beyond any doubt, that consciousness is supported, guided, and provided for by an intelligence that operates beyond scarcity limitations. Share your quantum energy experiences not to prove anything or convince skeptics, but to provide hope and possibility reference points for others who are just beginning to suspect that reality is far more responsive and supportive than mainstream consciousness admits. Your stories become permission for others to trust their own quantum energy experiences. Every person who achieves complete quantum energy trust creates easier access for those who follow. Your breakthrough becomes their pathway. Your miracles become their possibilities. Your trust becomes their permission to surrender control and discover quantum energy collaboration. If quantum energy trust is awakening in your consciousness, if you can feel the recognition of supportive intelligence stirring in your cellular awareness, if you're ready to discover what happens when trust becomes complete rather than conditional, then I need to know you are serious about collaborating with cosmic intelligence rather than struggling through individual effort alone. Comment one word below, trust. That single word creates an electromagnetic declaration to the quantum field that registers as a measurable frequency shift in your biofield. You're announcing your willingness to surrender control and allow quantum energy to demonstrate its unlimited supportive capacity through your life experience. You're committing to collaboration rather than separation consciousness. The quantum field responds to conscious declarations as electromagnetic reality that influences probability manifestation around your stated intention. Your word becomes quantum momentum that quantum energy can then use to orchestrate increasingly obvious demonstrations of its presence and support in your daily experience. In my next transmission, I'm revealing the secrets about the quantum breath and how you can connect and reach everything with this quantum teaching. Thank you for being here in this transmission. You are really very special here. You are a beautiful soul. Never forget it. Now you can click on one of the videos appearing and continue your quantum journey here in Quantum Reflex. See you there.